All right, guys, so I'm gonna tell you, this story right here had me dying, okay? I was laughing so hard when I actually watched the whole video of this incident, because it's just another example of about how the demand for racism in this country severely outstrips the supply. Okay, that's not to say there's not any racism in this country, but damn, okay, it seems like every single time there are one of these racial hate incidences, the perpetrator is almost always not white. At least that's what I'm noticing. Okay, that's what I'm noticing. Right? Not to say that there's never any incidences where the suspects are white. I'm pretty sure there are quite a few, but I'm just saying, it seems like the ones that get the most attention, they always seem to be fake. Okay, so that is basically what happened in this situation. As a few of you guys actually sent me this story to talk about, and I really appreciate when you guys send me stories like this. It involves a high school out in Sacramento, California, McClatchy High School, and a student wrote some racial hate stuff on, you know, some of the property, right? So it was vandalism. Okay, they wrote like colored on the water fountain, and white on another water fountain. They, you know, put the KKK letters and the Nazi symbols. You guys know what it is, right? You guys know what they typically write. And this is hilarious because the activists involved, we all know they got all butthurt about it, right? They was like, oh, this is racism, this is a hate crime, you know, the perpetrator must come to justice, they must be punished to the full extent of the law, blah 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 blah. And they was going all hard on this until they found out the racial identity of the suspect. But before we get into this, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel and if you want to support what I do, feel free to do so using the links in the description below. You can support the Patreon, you can support the PayPal, you can support the merch. There are multiple ways to support the channel if you would like to do so. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and roll the news clip of this incident so that you guys can learn a little bit more about this. And also, by the way, there's gonna be an awkward pause in this news clip. The video is not broken, it's just awkward. So let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Of district excuses. We are tired of district letters. We are tired of we are investigating. What we want is consequences.
Sac City schools hit repeatedly with racist vandalism. Thanks for staying with us at 5:30. I'm Curtis Meng.
Last Friday, someone wrote the words white and colored over water fountains here at McClatchy High School, obviously a reference to the Jim Crow era. Tonight, we're learning the district is disciplining the student involved, but it stopped short of calling it racial hatred or a hate crime. Now, the district hired someone to oversee race and equity, which includes investigating racial incidents. Mark Harris tells me a black female student confessed to the vandalism, and the investigation shows her on camera. He tells me the student said she did it as a prank. Now, this is a sensitive topic for so many because Sac City Unified School District has been plagued with racial incidents. The most recent includes students seeing several buildings at Abraham Lincoln Elementary School tagged with hate symbols and the N-word. The NAACP and community activists say they want to meet with the district to talk about how it can support black students through these events. Meanwhile, the district refers to the McClatchy incident as troubling vandalism.
I don't believe that those words that were on those water fountains were racist. I do not believe they were hate crime or hate speech. Part of it, quite honestly, is because the admitted perpetrator is an African-American young woman.
I disagree at it being a hate crime because at the end of the day, we understand when you have colored on one water faucet and white on another kind of water faucet, what that means, whether it's 1950 or 2022.
However, some activists question the evidence, citing mistrust of the district's handling of racism in the past. And I did ask if there had been any movement with the Abraham Lincoln case, and I've heard so far there's been no progress yet.
Bruh, you cannot make this up, man. You cannot make this up, okay? Because at first, right, I'm going to play a clip of what some of these activists were saying. before they found out that the perpetrator was black.
Whoever the miscreant that thinks they're going to come into our city and do this type of black hate crime.
Now that the perpetrator has been found to be black,
I do not believe they were hate crime or hate speech. Part of it, quite honestly, is because the admitted perpetrator is an African-American young woman.
you can't make this stuff up. But before I give you more commentary, I actually want to play a clip because even after this incident, they're still claiming racism here. They're still trying to not let the school off the hook and say, no, you guys are racist. The school is still racist because apparently they only investigated this as fast as they investigated it because the suspect was black. Take a look.
Why is it when you find something like this, we find the black students quicker than we find the white students? We're dealing with West Campus still, months of West Campus, and we still haven't found the perpetrators for that. However, I get a call early in the morning from SAC PD saying they found the perpetrators immediately and was almost, in my opinion, joyful to tell me that allegedly that they were African Americans. That's not acceptable to me. I want you to put that same energy into West Campus. I want you to put that same energy into every school district that's dealing with these issues. It's a problem. We have racism that's rooted in this school district.
I want to be very mindful that it is alleged that there was an African American student that wrote this graffiti. Alleged.
Oh my God. Listen, guys, in life, when you take an L, just take the L, okay? Just take the L, okay? And in this situation right here, these activists should just take the L because at this point, they're starting to sound silly, okay? You sound silly because now that they know the race of the perpetrator is not white, they're not racist. Not the person that wrote the racist graffiti, right? They're not racist. And it's also not a hate crime anymore. It's the school that's racist. The school is actually racist for investigating this too quickly, right? That is the argument that is being made, okay? Because listen, in this situation, guys, if it's so bad, right? If what was written is so bad and so traumatic, according to these people, which in my opinion, I don't think it actually is. I think that people get too butthurt over stuff like this. Trolls are gonna be trolls, okay? And feeding the trolls and giving them attention, letting you know that you're hurt by their trolling, that only makes it so they troll more, right? You have more of this stuff happen. But my point is that you had all this energy before when you thought that whoever did this was white, right? When you thought that the perpetrator of this was white, it was a hate crime. It's racism, right? Now, all of a sudden, when you find out that the perpetrator was not white, the tone changed. It's not racism anymore. Wait, hold on. I thought that the graffiti was racist, right? I thought writing KKK was racist. I thought writing color and white on water fountains was racist. Now, all of a sudden, again, because the perpetrator is not white and in fact a black girl, well, it's not racist, guys, and it's not a hate crime. When again, I wouldn't be saying anything about this if they kept the same energy. But it's the fact that they switched up their energy because if it's a hate crime when a white person writes something like this, then it has to be a hate crime when a black person writes something like this, right? Because the symbol themselves, they're racist and hateful, according to these people. They're so traumatic, right? So it doesn't matter who wrote it. What matters is the fact that the person wrote it. So therefore, they need to receive equal punishment, equal treatment, okay? It should be investigated as a hate crime. This person should be charged with a hate crime, okay? If it's a hate crime when, again, a white person does it, then it has to be a hate crime when a black person does it, regardless of intent, in my opinion. Because I think that when you fake something like this, it's even worse than actually committing the real crime. And the reason why, because you're faking it with the intent of trying to stir up some type of racial drama at school, right? You're not even doing it because you actually believe the stuff. Maybe, who knows, maybe the student actually does. I don't know, but I'm just saying. I love how all of a sudden, because the student is black, it's automatically assumed that it's not hate anymore and that it was fake, right? Do we know what the student's actual intentions was? Because again, when the assumption was that the student was white, there was no benefit of the doubt, right? Nobody's going to say, oh, well, what was the student's intentions? Did they intend to be hateful or was this just a prank, right? Again, if the student was white, nobody would ever give that student the benefit of the doubt and say, no, this is a prank. But because the student is black, all of a sudden now it's a prank. It's not a hate crime. It's not racist anymore. Again, this is clown behavior, man. And these people look silly. I'm sorry to tell you, they look silly. That's why I'm laughing, because of the silliness. Again, and this is why you shouldn't get so butthurt about this stuff. Yeah, it should be investigated. Yeah, the people that did it should be brought to justice. But you shouldn't be out here protesting, boohooing, and crying about it, because, again, it's, at the end of the day, it's just stuff on the wall. Nobody was harmed. Nobody was hurt. People get more upset about this than they do about folks actually getting killed, right? And then once it's all said and done, not only do you want to say, oh, it's not hate and it's not racist anymore, you still want to try to accuse the school of being racist. Again, we talk about liberal Sacramento here, right? Sacramento, California, right? Oh, well, they only investigated this so fast because the suspect was black, right? And I'm like, okay, well, in this situation, we have the student on video, right? It was easy to find the perpetrator because the student was actually on video. In the other incidences, it seems to me that, I don't know, maybe the student wasn't on video. That's why they couldn't find the perpetrator as fast, right? Different situations have different circumstances that affect how long it takes to actually find out who did it, okay? But again, I wouldn't be surprised if the perpetrator of the other incident, particularly that happened at an elementary school, wouldn't be surprised if it was the same student. Right, wouldn't be surprised. So what happens is that they move on to the next one. Well, y'all haven't found a suspect for this one, right? Still thinking in their head, they must be white. We got to get this one. We got to get this one. And if they turn out not to be white, then all of a sudden you can say, well, that wasn't really a hate incident. That wasn't really a incident of racism, even though they told us the whole time that this is a hate crime and this is racism, right? Until somebody that's not white is found to actually be the perpetrator. Again, it's embarrassing. It is so embarrassing for multiple reasons. First and foremost, because people put their energy behind stuff like this. You put all this energy and emotion behind some words, first and foremost. And then two, because as soon as you find that the person that did it was not the race that you thought did it, oh, all of a sudden, you change up all the energy now. Okay? Now all of a sudden it's not a hate crime. Now all of a sudden it's not racism. Again, it's embarrassing, man. It just shows you what a lot of these people are about. They're simply about trying to find white racism, right? They don't care about any other type of hate crimes or any type of racism for any other group of people, because, again, I'm not going to say this wasn't automatically not racist, because, hey, who knows? Maybe that black female student, maybe she harbored some feelings of hate or racism or whatever, right? So, again, I think it should be investigated as a hate crime, because, again, there would be no benefit of doubt if the student was white, that this came from a place of hate. So I think it should be investigated both ways. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Another so-called hate crime, busted, right? Busted. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.